Wanted to bring you out here and show you what Israel looks like in the season of life. I live all year long to enjoy this time because you're going to see it's quite profound. Remind you that when Elohim brought the children of Israel into the land of Canaan, he said it was good. It was tov. I'm bringing you to a tov land. And that if they obeyed him, there'd be plenty of water and plenty of greens for them and their animals. But he also promised after the flood that seed time and harvest would remain as long as the earth did. So what we're dealing with on our earth today in Israel, on this good land, is thistles and thorns and lack of rain. But look what happens when just a kiss of rain from heaven falls every year and his plants are nurtured. Let me see if I can find the Turner. That's the direction that we live in. You probably can't tell, but I see sheep in the field up on top of the hill there. The Bedouin that lives by us, he's over there in the unplanted, untilled wild fields. That looks towards Bethlehem, looks towards over the ridge, two ridges, is the Jezreel Valley. This is the Yavniel Valley. That ridge is called Ramat Yavniel. Do you see how beautiful and green it is? Slowly, and now I've turned back towards the Sea of Galilee. So there's not a lot to report. I just want to show you that this is spinach. This is all wild spinach and barley and oats. Probably some rye tares. All of this up and down these banks. All of this is volunteer. We call it volunteer, but you know what? Deuteronomy 11 says that God's been planting this and he's been supplying it ever since before Israel came into the land. All of this is food of one sort or another. This is a good land. He's never quit providing the food, even though the people don't eat it. His seed time and harvest will continue. Whether man's does or not, I don't know. Their seeds are not on his cycle. They manage, they water, they fertilize. That's not his food. This is his food, and this will continue as long as the earth remains. That's all, folks. Well, having a hard time turning this off. So I brought you next over here to my foraging field. I want to show you what Israel looks like in the green season. This is all wild mustard. All of these, hang on, I've got to turn you around. You're looking at me. These flowers are all wild mustard right here. And the best part for me are the yellow blooms. This, I got a crop duster over there. I'm not happy about that, but it's far enough from my field. All of these piles are thistles I pulled out of this field. Now, see this field standing in water? This is a very, very important thing to understand. God plants this land according to the needs of the seeds, that in the way that he created the seed to need nourishment. You see that field standing in water? God plants spinach. He plants Swiss chard, and what else can I see? There's some other smaller salad greens. I can't remember the names of now. They're common. Chickweed. Chickweed's edible. Look at that. He is almost looking like a beet top, but that's a chard, I think. Let me pull it. he could make a beet, actually. That could be a wild beet. But he plants this according to their need. Look at this. I pulled all of these thistles out of my new foraging field because last year I lost my foraging field to thistles. This year on my new foraging field, I've come in and I pulled the thistles out so that they don't take over. Now, let me show you. Every bit of this is wild volunteer Swiss chard. Every bit of this, up and down here. There's some greens behind it. You'll hear me chomping and walking around. But all of this came up volunteer. All of this came up. There's another pile of thistles I pulled so I don't lose my field this year. All of this came up volunteer. Now I want to show you some thorns. So I've showed you some thistles. These little thorns are the other part of the curse. Let me see if I can show you here together. Thistles and thorns, okay? This is what man had to battle on the good land. This was the curse, not that the land wouldn't give us the food we needed, but that we would have to battle the curse, which now includes lack of rain. Look at this. Look how tall that is. You see how tall that is? The phone was on the ground. That's got to be at least 10 inches tall by now. Okay? So all of this, there is, right there, that's some kind of grain, oats, barley, some kind of grain. Behind it, that's mustard. Thistles are even edible. They're good. They're like celery. You just don't want them to take your field off and ruin the rest of the food. Take it over and ruin the rest of the food. So I'm keeping it, you know, tame back. There is Swiss chard here. There is chickweed here. Oh my goodness, there's so much food on this parcel of land that nobody planted. I just want you to see that this land is still tov. It will still sustain people if they get their life right, if the rain comes again, if they will return to eating this instead of what they think they're supposed to eat, which is what man manipulates. This land is still good. It just needs rain.